Hi, my name's Ozzy, and this is my 2006 Sportster 883. The intake and exhaust, in fact the entire engine, are bone stock right now, and my reason for doing this video is because I'm upgrading my exhaust and my intake to Screamin Eagle. Thanks to you other folks on YouTube, I got some great input on what the exhaust sounds like, and I've chosen the Screamin Eagle because it's a great combination of performance and sound. The one thing that was missing on YouTube though is that there was no before and after. That's what I'm trying to fill here. So I'm going to fire this thing up with it being bone stock, and this will give you an opportunity to hear what it sounds like before. After I get the work done next week, I'll do an after. I'll post this entire video and you can see the difference for yourself. Hopefully it'll provide some educational value for those of you that are considering upgrading your exhaust. As you can hear, the idle's pretty tame. I barely raised my voice, and once you give it a little gas, it still doesn't sound extremely exciting. That's about it for now, folks. Next, we'll see what it looks like with the Screamin Eagle exhaust and intake. More importantly, we'll hear what it sounds like. Okay, it's a few days later, and I've got my Screamin Eagle exhaust and intake done. As promised, I'm going to fire it up so you can hear the difference. Here's what I've noticed. At idle, there's almost no difference between before and after. When I'm in neutral or at a stop sign and I gun it, there's a little bit of difference, but not a whole lot. The biggest difference you're going to notice in the sound quality is when you're under a load. So when you're actually riding down the street and you accelerate or decelerate, that's when you're going to notice the biggest difference in the sound quality. Unfortunately, I wasn't smart enough to record it before, so I'm not going to bother to record it after and do a drive-by. Now with that said, let's go ahead and fire it up. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of difference in idle. Maybe a little bit, talking a little bit louder, but it's not a big difference. Let's go ahead and give it a little gas. Like I said, there's a noticeable difference there, but the biggest difference you're going to experience is when you're on the road. Now in retrospect, if I was going after noise specifically, I'd have gone for the Vance & Hines because they've got a lot more volume than these Screamin Eagle pipes do. The performance, on the other hand, is great with these things. You give it a little goose and there's a big difference. The one aesthetic thing that I'm not really pleased with is that there's a gap between the shield that wasn't there before with the old muffler. The gap that I mentioned a moment ago is right here. You can see a little gap between the edge of the heat shield and the beginning of the muffler expansion, and also right here. On the stock exhaust, there's a heat shield that goes over the muffler, and there is no such creature on the Screamin Eagle pipes. Therefore, the gap is significantly more pronounced on the heat shield on the front pipe. If aesthetics are a major concern for you, I might recommend the Vance & Hines. Well, that about wraps it up. I'd like to thank Harley-Davidson of Mason City for supplying me with the exhaust and the intake, and I'd like to thank VIP Custom Cycles for doing the work. Now, I'm giving them props because they did a good job, not because they did it for free. Also, I'd like to thank my cute assistant Aaron for helping me with this filming. That's all, folks.